The dreams of a family were the color of sunlight. In that light, laughter and joy filled the home of Lillian and her husband Robert. They were a simple rural family. Their life was sustained by Robert's small income as a laborer. They had no other support. Yet, they lived without complaint. Time passed and twin girls were born, bringing color to their lives, Chloe and Natalie. Robert couldn't contain his delight when he saw the little ones. "Lillian, they are the two stars that have come into our lives," he said. "We must raise them to be great. They should never know our hardships." Lillian smiled. Her world was confined to those two small faces. In their laughter and babbling, she forgot all her troubles. Robert's hard work was the foundation of their family. Every day after work, he would bring home some sweets or toys for his children. When Lillian fed her little ones, she would touch Robert's hands and say, "The sustenance for my children comes from these hands." But that happiness didn't last long. One morning, Robert was in an accident while at work. By the time he reached the hospital, it was all over. Lillian could not comprehend the news. Holding her 2-3-year-old daughters close, she cried. In an instant, her life fell into darkness. The people around her sympathized. Some offered help, but soon she was alone. A woman without a husband, a mother of 2 daughters, society saw her as a burden. How will she live now? How will she raise these girls? Many people asked these questions, but there was no one to answer them. Lillian's spirit was broken. But when her eyes fell on the 2 little faces, she found the strength to go on. "I will live for my children. I will not give up," she resolved in her heart. With the small amount of money she received after Robert's death, she started a small tailoring shop outside her house. She took out her old sewing machine and sewed clothes day and night. She would collect old fabrics from the market and make children's clothes to sell. Sometimes she would sew clothes for her neighbors on a commission basis. Every stitch was a testament to her determination. She worked late into the night every day. Only after making sure her children were asleep would she return to her work. Even when her hands ached and her eyes blurred, she would say, "The future of my children is in this sewing machine." Years passed. Chloe and Natalie grew up. They understood their mother's struggles. They helped her and focused on their studies. Lillian carried on their education without any compromises. The children studied hard, especially Chloe and Natalie. They earned high marks in all their exams. They didn't have a dream of becoming a doctor or an engineer. They had only one dream: to join the army. Lillian was amazed. "My daughters want to be brave." She was happy. She decided to support her daughters' dreams. For this, she worked even harder. She didn't need to take on new debts. One day, the daughters talked to her about joining the army. "Mom, we are going to join the army. We want to serve our country. We want to make you a proud mother," Chloe said. Natalie also nodded. Lillian cried tears of joy. She was proud that her struggles had paid off. As they were about to leave for military training, Lillian hugged them and said, "You are my pride. Go bravely and fulfill your dreams." But she didn't know that the money she had borrowed for her daughters' future was about to become a tragedy in her life. After Chloe and Natalie left home, Lillian's life became lonely again. Not being able to hear her children's voices or see their smiles caused her pain. However, thinking about their good future gave her comfort. It was during this time that a man named Victor Blackwood entered her life. Victor Blackwood was the richest and most influential man in the village. He had a special interest in lending money. However, his interest rate was enormous. At that time, Lillian needed $50,000 for the final stage of her daughter's training expenses. Having no other options, she went to Victor Blackwood. When she arrived in front of Victor Blackwood's house, she felt a little scared. Yet, the thought of her children's future gave her courage. She went inside. Victor Blackwood welcomed her with a smile. "Oh, Lillian? What do you need?" he asked. Lillian told him her need. Then he said with a smile, "Lillian, you don't have to worry. It's for your daughter's future, right? I will help you," he spoke very kindly. He took out a paper and gave it to her to sign. She didn't pay attention to what was written on the paper and signed it. That's when she began to know his true nature. He insisted that she pay the interest every month without fail. He also threatened her with what would happen if she was late in paying the money. For the first few months, Lillian was able to pay the money. However, when her business slowed down, she began to struggle financially. One day, she went to Victor Blackwood's house. "Sir, I have been paying you interest for 2 years. But the principal debt is still not paid off. I don't have any money with me this month. My daughters have now gotten jobs in the army. They will start getting their salaries next month, and then I will pay back the debt and interest together. Please excuse me this time." The smile on Victor Blackwood's face disappeared. He yelled in anger, "Don't you play too many games. Give me the money quickly or you will suffer." Lillian cried and said, "Sir, I am telling the truth. I couldn't collect the money this month. I will give you 2 months, interest together next month." Victor Blackwood threatened, "Look, if you don't pay the money next month, this house and land will become mine. Remember that." These threats mentally broke Lillian. She lived in fear every day. She couldn't sleep at night. When she called her children on the phone, she tried to speak happily. "Mom is fine, girls. You do your jobs well. There is no problem here," she said. But her eyes were filled with fear. She didn't want to worry her children. Victor Blackwood's cruelty grew day by day. He would often come to her shop and create a scene. When she couldn't pay the money, he would humiliate her in front of the villagers. She would cry and beg for help in front of the people. But due to the fear of Victor Blackwood, no one came to help her. Finally, one day, Victor Blackwood's anger went out of control. When he came to ask for money, Lillian had nothing to give. She cried and pleaded with him. "Sir, this house is everything in my life. Where will I live if you destroy it?" she asked. "I will return your money, just give me some time." But he had no mercy. He hit her. No one dared to come near Lillian, who had fallen to the ground. People just stood and watched. Their helplessness gave Victor Blackwood courage. Victor Blackwood took out his phone and called for a bulldozer. "Tear down her house today. This house is mine now," he screamed. The bulldozer began to move forward. Lillian stood by helplessly, watching her house, filled with her dreams and memories, collapse. Tears streamed from her eyes. Her heart was broken. She prayed that her children would not know about this tragedy. But they were about to find out, in the form of a short video. As Lillian's life was falling apart, on the snow-covered mountains at the border, Chloe and Natalie were serving their country. They were the pride of the nation. The hard military training, the parades in extreme cold and heat, the nights spent sleeping to the sound of gunfire, all these had made them strong women. Captain Chloe was respected among her colleagues. Lieutenant Natalie's courage surprised even her superior officers. Every evening they would call their mother on the phone. Every phone call was the most precious moment in the world for them. Hearing their mother's voice, they would temporarily forget the difficult life at the border. Chloe would ask, "Mom, are you okay? It's very cold here." Natalie would say, "Mom, I want to come home on vacation. You must make my favorite dishes." Lillian would laugh happily. "I'm waiting to see my daughters." Their voices were always filled with only happiness. But Chloe felt a slight tremor in her mother's voice. She also noticed that her mother's laugh didn't have the same brightness as before. "Mom, is there any problem?" she asked. "Nothing, my dear. I am just happy." What mother would not be happy to see her daughters serving the country? Lillian would say with a laugh. Chloe failed to understand the pain hidden in that laugh. Natalie also noticed the change. "Mom must be sad when she is alone," Natalie told Chloe. They saw that pain only as loneliness. Because they believed that their mother, who had endured so many hardships in life, would not hide any problem from them. Victor Blackwood came home again, asking for money. This time he laid his hands on Lillian. "Just give me the money quickly, otherwise I will take you," he yelled. Lillian trembled with fear. She cried and fell at his feet. "Sir, please have mercy. My daughters are in the army. I will return everything once they get their salaries." But Victor Blackwood had no mercy. He pushed Lillian down. When she fell to the ground, her elbow was hurt. "It doesn't matter that your daughters are in the army. In this village, my name is the law," he yelled. People gathered around. No one came forward. The terror of Victor Blackwood had silenced them. An elderly woman cried and begged them, "Please help that mother." but no one moved. The fear of Victor Blackwood had taken over the entire village. In Lillian's mind, there was the memory of her children more than the pain. The thought that they didn't know how much she was humiliated broke her. She wanted her hardships not to be a burden on her children. That's why she hid her wounds. When she spoke on the phone, she would position the camera in a way that her wounds were not visible. Her heart was burning with pain. Yet with a smile she said, "Sweetie, I was able to sew a new design today. I'm happy about that." A few people in the village knew how Victor Blackwood exploited the poor. One of them was Ryan, a young man. He hadn't forgotten the story of his father losing his land for taking a loan from Victor Blackwood. Fighting against Victor Blackwood was his dream. But he didn't have the strength to fight alone. That morning, when Victor Blackwood arrived in front of Lillian's house with a bulldozer, Ryan ran there. An idea flashed in his mind. The world should see this cruelty. He took out his mobile phone and started recording everything. Lillian falling at Victor Blackwood's feet and crying, Victor Blackwood laughing cruelly, the bulldozer tearing down the house. He recorded everything without any change in expression. When Victor Blackwood left, confident of his victory, Ryan quickly went home. He created an account on social media and uploaded the video. He posted it with the title, "This is my mother's pain. This is a violation of the law." Within a few hours, the video went viral. Hundreds of people shared it, and thousands of people watched it. When the video arrived on Chloe's mobile, she was on duty. She got a notification. "A video you must watch." She opened it. At first glance, she didn't understand. But when she saw her mother and her house, her blood boiled. She froze. Tears streamed from her eyes. Her heart was broken. She screamed. "Mom," she cried, "were you enduring such great hardship alone?" She couldn't believe it. She was protecting the country at the border, but she couldn't protect her own mother. This helplessness broke her. She immediately called Natalie. "Nat, watch a video. Hurry." When Natalie saw the video, her eyes also filled with tears. Her anger rose to the sky. "Chloe, we have to go home now. We must make Victor Blackwood bow before the law," they decided. They went to their superior officer and showed the video. "Sir, we need leave. Our mother must get justice," Chloe said. The superior officer was shocked when he saw the video. "This is not just our mother's problem. This is the problem of every common person in the country. No one has the right to destroy someone's life in the name of money," Natalie said angrily. The superior officer immediately gave them leave. "You can go, we are with you," he said. Chloe and Natalie immediately packed their bags. Their journey to return home became a journey for a fight. They had only one goal in their minds: their mother must get justice. When they saw the village from a distance, Chloe and Natalie's heartbeats increased. Every moment, the scenes from that video were in their minds. They saw their house, full of so many dreams and memories, lying in ruins from the cruel hands of the bulldozer. They arrived in the village. When they saw the sight of the broken house from a distance, Chloe's eyes filled with tears. "Mom!" she cried. Natalie's eyes also filled with tears. They stopped the car and ran. There was only a mound of earth where the house used to be. Only one door remained on the kitchen wall. They saw Lillian sitting exhausted in a corner. They went to their mother and hugged her. "Mom, why didn't you tell us anything? If we were here, this wouldn't have happened," Chloe asked, crying. Lillian tried to answer, but words wouldn't come from her throat. Her eyes were filled with fear and helplessness. Natalie held her mother's hands tightly. "Mom, be brave. We are with you. Don't be afraid of anyone anymore." Lillian looked into her daughter's eyes. In their eyes she could see courage and determination. Those eyes gave her new hope. They supported their mother and brought her to a small house. Some people in the village had given them a place to stay. They made their mother sit there. "Mom, you have to tell us everything that happened. The truth must come out," Chloe said. Lillian narrated everything with tears, about the debt with Victor Blackwood, how he harassed her for money, and finally how he destroyed the house. With every word she heard, Chloe and Natalie's anger grew. "He will get his punishment for this," Natalie said angrily. That evening, Lillian went to the police station with her daughters. There was a new confidence on her face. Instead of fear, she had gained courage and determination. Chloe and Natalie arrived in their uniforms in front of the police officers. The inspector was sitting in his chair looking at files. He looked up and asked, "What do you need?" Chloe came forward and said, "Sir, we have come to file a complaint. A man named Victor Blackwood has been exploiting and threatening my mother for years in the name of interest. And in the end, he used a bulldozer to tear down her house. We have evidence. The video has gone viral on social media." The inspector hesitated for a moment. "Look, this is Victor Blackwood's matter. He is a big man in the village. It is not easy to go against him. There may be pressure from above," he said. Natalie immediately came forward. She placed her army ID card on the table. "I am Lieutenant Natalie Sharma, Indian Army." Chloe also showed her ID card. "I am Captain Chloe Sharma. Do you understand who we are now? If you don't register the FIR immediately, this matter will reach the offices of the SP and SDM. Then it won't be easy to keep your job." The inspector was astonished. Fear was clearly visible on his face. "Okay, ma'am, I am sorry. I didn't recognize you. I will write the report right now." He immediately recorded the FIR. Charges of illegal money lending, intimidation, and house demolition were filed. Chloe said, "Arrest Victor Blackwood right now." The inspector hesitated. "Ma'am, it's evening now. We can arrest him in the morning." Natalie said angrily, "Why in the morning? Wasn't my mother's house torn down in the evening? The arrest should also happen right now." The inspector had no other choice. The police began to prepare the jeep. Chloe and Natalie also got in with them. In the evening, the police jeep arrived in front of Victor Blackwood's big house. Seeing the police, his goons got scared. The inspector said, "Open the door. We need to see Victor Blackwood." From inside, Victor Blackwood's voice came. "Who is it? Why are you making a ruckus at this time?" The door was opened. The police entered the house. Seeing the police and Chloe, Natalie, Victor Blackwood laughed. "Well, this is interesting. In all these years, no one has had the courage to arrest me. Let's see who arrests me. In the village, my rule prevails." Chloe looked into his eyes and said, "Your rule is over now. You made my mother cry, destroyed her house, and sucked the blood of the villagers. Now you will be punished for your crimes." Victor Blackwood said angrily, "What can two girls in the army do to me? The police are in my pocket." Natalie yelled, "Now your pocket will be empty. Because from today, the law will speak." The inspector ordered, "Put handcuffs on him." The police officers immediately put handcuffs on Victor Blackwood. All the villagers gathered there. For the first time, they saw Victor Blackwood helpless. The women whispered, "Look, the man who scared us for so many years is now standing with handcuffs on." They couldn't contain their happiness. Chloe and Natalie had given the village a new hope. The next day at noon, the case came to the sub-divisional magistrate's court. Victor Blackwood was brought under police protection. Dozens of villagers had gathered there. The SDM asked, "Tell me what happened, and present the evidence." Chloe showed the viral video on her mobile. After seeing the video, the SDM became serious. "This is a clear crime." The villagers started giving their testimonies. An old man said, "Sir, this man stole our land in the name of interest." A woman said, "He hit my husband when we were late in returning the money." Lillian gave her testimony without fear. "Victor Blackwood ruined my life. He destroyed my house and my self-respect." Her words were filled with both pain and courage. The SDM ordered investigate Victor Blackwood's properties, freeze his bank accounts, send him to judicial custody. In the investigation, it was found that Victor Blackwood had exploited hundreds of poor people and seized their land over the past 15 years. The case continued in the district court. Chloe and Natalie stood with their mother and gave their testimonies. Chloe said, "Honorable court, this man has not only exploited my mother, but every poor family in this village. Now justice must be served." Many villagers also came to testify. The trial in the district court lasted for several days. Victor Blackwood's lawyer tried to save him, but Chloe and Natalie presented strong evidence and testimonies. Finally, the day to pronounce the verdict came. There was a large crowd in the courtroom. Lillian and her daughters sat next to them. The judge pronounced the verdict. The court finds the accused Victor Blackwood guilty. The court has decided to give him a severe punishment for the crimes he has committed. Hearing the verdict, Victor Blackwood's face turned pale. He couldn't believe it. The judge continued, Victor Blackwood is sentenced to 10 years in prison. His illegal properties are to be confiscated. The poor families are to be compensated. The money-lending business in the village is to be shut down. A shout of joy rose in the courtroom. The villagers hugged each other and cried. "Now no one can oppress us," they said. There were tears of joy in Lillian's eyes. She hugged her daughters. "You are my true strength. I couldn't have won this battle alone without you." Chloe said, "No, Mom, your courage gave us the strength." Natalie smiled and said, "Now no one else will suffer like us." Victor Blackwood's illegal properties were confiscated and returned to the poor families. Those who had lost their land due to Victor Blackwood's threats got it back. The people of the village were very happy. The villagers came together to rebuild Lillian's house. They completed the house in one day. It was a house more beautiful than the old one. Lillian couldn't contain her happiness. She thanked the villagers. "This house is not mine, it is everyone's house," she said. The women of the village looked at Lillian and her daughters and said, "This mother and these daughters are our inspiration. Daughters are God's greatest blessing." After that day, the village had an atmosphere of equality and courage instead of fear. Lillian looked at her daughters and thought, "Yes, daughters are God's greatest blessing."